So, many of you need to take an English language test sometimes. Maybe you want to study abroad, maybe you want to go for immigration or for a job. So, I found out about a brand new test called the TOEFL Essentials Test, and I decided to take it myself. So, in this video, I will take you through section by section of the test and give you my secret tips and strategies to get a 12 band on the TOEFL Essentials test. So let's get going. Hey, this is Chetna and you're watching ChetChat. It's a Friday once again, and this time we're talking about an English language test called the TOEFL Essentials, the world's new English language test. Now, surprise, surprise, this test is shorter and more fast-paced than most English language tests that I have ever taken. In fact, it is half the cost and half the price of the TOEFL IBT test. What I found interesting was that some of the questions were related to everyday conversations, like talking to a friend or a hotel check-in desk, etc. Some parts were academic, but you really did not need to know any fancy vocabulary or mug up any word list to crack this test. You can easily take it from home, just like I did, and you will get instant score reports. I know what you're waiting to ask me. Is it a difficult test or is it an easy test? Well, I will attempt the test with you. I will take you through each section and I will answer this question for you. But in a nutshell, let me say, it's not a difficult test. And the multi-stage adaptive format design means that the test questions adjust to your skill level as you go through the test. Now, come on, let's get to the test straight away. The first big tip for you is to take a lot of free practice tests from the website. Find the parts that are most difficult for you. Usually speaking and reading are the hardest for most students. Now, let's get into the 4 sections individually of the TOEFL Essential Test. The first section is on listening skills. Now, within this, there are 2 sets of questions. The first set has a few short statements or questions which you can listen to only once. After that, you need to choose an appropriate response from those given 4 options. For example,
the windows will be replaced, won't they?
The statements are short, answers also are very short and crisp, so it feels a bit like a game. And actually, I found it very interesting. Now, let me give you a few tips. Tip number 1. The options may not have the same words as the question. So don't look for the same words. It should just be a possible response you could give to the statement that you just heard. Tip number 2. Don't look for the best or the smartest option. Just look for an option that sounds correct. Now, the second set of questions is about listening to a short conversation, academic conversations, or announcements. For example, you may find a conversation with a neighbor, or a hotel clerk, or maybe a colleague at work, or even a computer repair person. Or perhaps there could be an announcement at a college event. Now, there may be one slightly academic passage. For example, there could be a passage on the summary of a science podcast or maybe an art class. Now, the passages are short and interesting. Be careful because you get to hear it only once and the clock shows you how much time you have to answer. Now for my tips. This really worked for me is noting down keywords during the conversation. You get a couple of short answer questions which are directly from the passage. Now, tip number 2. Read all the options carefully before selecting one. Some questions might be fact-based, but some of them are analytical in nature. Now, let me give you some general tips to improve your English listening overall. So, the first thing is practice listening to something in English every day and gradually increase the amount of time that you listen. Listen actively. What does that mean? Ask yourself who, what, when, where, how. Write one sentence to remember the main idea of what you heard. Now, you could even write down new expressions, idioms, and vocabulary that you hear. Watch or listen to TV programs and podcasts in English. I've done a lot of videos about different types of podcasts. And now, before moving on to the reading section, I want to give a shout out to Rishita Tiwari for leaving this super sweet message under my last video, which got so many likes for you. And you know what to do. If you want a shout out in my next video, leave me a comment below with the hashtag ChetChatters. The reading skills. Let's talk about this section. Now here, you can skip questions. You can come back to them, and there's also a review screen available at any time during this section. The first type of questions within the reading section are on vocabulary. You'll typically get one word and there'll be synonyms, options given to you, and you need to choose one of them. Tip number 1, make sure you read all the 4 options before you eliminate the wrong choice. Now you'll find everyday English in this section, and you really don't need to learn any complicated words. Now next, you may perhaps get like a short newspaper article, a ticket or a coupon to read, or a short email message. My second tip to you is that some of the information may not be directly mentioned. And in certain questions, when they ask you what a word referred to in the paragraph, this may not be a direct meaning, but you may have to infer the meaning. The more you read similar material, the easier it will be for you to correlate the contextual meaning of the word. And now for some general tips to improve your reading skill. Read in English as much and as often as you can. Read texts on a variety of topics, academic topics, non-academic topics, and write basic questions to test your understanding of a text. Next up is writing skills. The writing section is divided into separately timed sections. When you finish one section, you cannot go back to it. In the first part, you need to select the correct arrangements of words and phrases to make grammatically correct sentences. Now this section seems very easy, but I have a few tips for you. Be careful. Sometimes you may be given one extra optional part which might end up confusing you. Now, another type of question within the writing section asks you to write a response to a variety of situations. Here are some tips for you to improve your writing skills. Practice typing on a QWERTY keyboard. Try your laptop, type more often. Practice English writing and typing every day. Write a diary. I like writing a diary, or even a blog perhaps. And one important thing, don't depend on the spell check of your word program. And finally, for the section on speaking skills. In this section, you're given 3 tasks. In the first task, you listen to an audio recording. The response is also provided in writing. You just need to read the given words aloud.
You meet your friend on campus. Speak with your friend.
Hey, I haven't seen you since before spring break. How are you doing?
In the second task, someone speaks to you. You need to listen and repeat. The sentences are short and uncomplicated.
You are learning to give tours of a campus. Listen to the speaker and repeat what she says.
Welcome to our university.
And in the third task, an interviewer will ask you questions.
Thank you for your interest. Today, I would like to ask you some questions to see if you're a good fit for the program. First, are you currently a student?
I'm sharing a link below which will help you become a fluent English speaker. Now for my general tips to improve your speaking skills. Practice the free cost sets available on the website. Practice, practice, practice. Record yourself speaking in English. Read a paragraph. Pick up an academic course book and read a paragraph. Practice summarizing the paragraph aloud after you've shut your textbook. Speak with confidence and open your mouth more widely than you normally do. At the end of these 4 sections, you will be asked to prepare a personal video statement. This is unscored, but don't worry so much about it. But you do want to create a good impression. Now, you can begin your video by saying, "Hi, my name is Chetna Vasishth. I am from Pune, India. After that, what you choose to say and how you choose to say it is up to you. There is no attention, zero emphasis on the production value of your video. You may choose any topic that you find meaningful and where you are going to enjoy sharing it. For example, what do you plan to do when you go abroad? Or you may talk about your goals and dreams in life, or the reason why you are taking the TOEFL Essential Test. Just maintain a calm and confident attitude and do not let nervousness get in the way. I wish you the best of luck and happy learning. But if you want to know more about the TOEFL tests, then I'm going to put a link in the description box below and you can check that out to go try the test on your own. See you next Friday.